In this problem, we're trying to work out the direction of the net torque acting on a two-dimensional object by three different forces of equal magnitude. So what we need to do is determine the magnitude and direction of the torque by each of those forces. And for that, we'll need the radial distance, the amount of force, and the angle. So when we're trying to figure those things out, what the radius and the angle should be, that's all relative to a radial arm extended from the axis of rotation. In part A, the axis of rotation will be point A. So for simplicity, I'm going to just draw some radial arms on there, which the beauty of those is I can draw them in any direction I like. They just extend straight out from the axis of rotation. So I'm just going to draw several of those in here to show all the various places they could be. Well, they could be anywhere. That gives us a reference point of where we should be looking on these forces. Now for F1 right here, the radius is, the radial distance is 2 of these blocks, which is, they're 1 meter each, so the radius is 2. The force is, well, they're all F. And it's pretty clear here that the angle is going to be 45 degrees. F2, which I did not label on my diagram, is right here, and the radial distance on this one is 2 times radical 2, and the force is again F, but the angle here is, well, it's either 0 or 180 degrees. Doesn't really matter because the sign is equivalent. For F3, I could go to whichever of these radial arms I like. The perpendicular one seems to make more sense and be a little simpler because that gives me a radial arm or radial distance of just 1 F and sine of 90 degrees. Then I need to determine the direction, and a simple way to do that, if you are having trouble visualizing, is just place something right over the axis of rotation and push in the direction of that force. So I push in the direction of F1, clearly it's turning it clockwise. If I push in the direction of F2, I can see that it doesn't rotate at all. And in the direction of F3, that's turning it counterclockwise. Now all I need to do is compare the magnitudes of these torques, and for F1 I've got 2 times sine of 45, and I'm comparing that to 1 times the sine of 90. 2 times the sine of 45 is about 1.4 F, and this would be 1 F, so the torque from F1 is greater, and we have a clockwise torque. For parts B and C, I will apply the same technique, just with a different axis of rotation. Changing to part B, I'm going to redraw my radial arms at point B. Problem like this, it's helpful to have multiple drawings because putting them all on the same drawing would get mighty confusing. So going to force 1, I can see I've got a radial distance of 1. The force is still F and the angle is still 45 degrees. Force 2, I can take that to, how about this radial arm here, where the radial distance is F and we're still at 45 degrees and the force is F. And for force 3, the radial distance is 3, the force is F, but the angle is 0 degrees. Again, I can look at the directions and it should be the same as the previous one. For F1, pushing here, it's turning clockwise. For F2, I push this way, get counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, and nothing from force 3. These are clearly equal, so we have 0 net torque. Now you can try part C using the same technique.